They keep ignoring the 13 dead servicemen who were left at Hamid Karzai International Airport there in Kabul. They ignore this. Well, of course they do. It's inconvenient. I mean, and someone said, oh, your buddy Trump did nothing to help Paul Whelan. Nothing. I don't know what he did or didn't do. And I don't care because you cannot sit here and excuse every Biden screw up with, but my Trump. But my Trump, though. Biden left 13 servicemen and women for dead at Hamid Karzai in Kabul. And I wrote about this extensively at the time. He acted against the advice of all military counsel. And no, he was never chained to any previous commitment. I have receipts literally as links on every single part of this. He wasn't. He was not chained to anything because it wasn't there was that formality wasn't there. The Doha Agreement was about stopping the Taliban from Airbnb in Afghanistan. And Trump withdrew everybody but 2,500 as a residual force. That's how he was acting on advice of military counsel. He wanted to take everybody out. Military counsel was saying, if you do that, you're going to leave a power vacuum. It's going to be dangerous. Leave a residual force, and then we're going to do it incrementally after that. He said, okay. Biden was no more bound to the Doha Agreement than Trump was to Obama's Iran Agreement or the Paris Accord. That's so stupid. And Biden had already, by the way, if he was so damn bound by that agreement, why did he extend the May deadline to September? Oh, but then he went ahead and ignored all the military advisors. They wanted to leave. They wanted to have an incremental withdrawal to prevent what happened from happening. And he didn't listen. That's such a stupid defense. The issue was never if we should withdraw. It was always ever only how to prevent, again, from the very thing from happening to unfold. He undercut all of our allies who disagreed with his immediate total withdrawal. And he totally botched it because he closed Bagram first. And then everyone that was at Bagram they were forced into the death funnel of this urban cluster of Kabul. I mean, you created a kill box. What'd you think was going to happen? Hell, you can play a basic tower defense game and know that you don't do that. So if you're going to keep a scorecard of screw ups, you better do it properly. This whole obsession the left has of who was president when Whelan was arrested at the expense of dead service members that Biden left at HKIA is ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you, if I was being real honest, I'd have a hell of a lot of support or respect for President McUnity had he told the Russians to just pound sand and not traded Victor Bout for anybody or Victor Bout for anybody. If it wasn't for a bunch of Americans, including Whelan and then that teacher, what's his name, Mark Fogel, not just Griner. So instead, we have a commander-in-chief who has to rely on the United Arab Emirates and the Saudis' crown prince. So it's OPEC plus negotiating with itself. And all we get is Griner. And then we are guaranteed that in the future, if we ever arrest a Putin ally, all the Kremlin has to do is snatch up some Americans and hold them for trade. Now, here's what else is interesting. I'm sure that this is just a coincidence. The U.S. court cites the Mohammed bin Salman immunity as it drops the Khashoggi suit. So they dropped the lawsuit against the Saudis' crown prince. By the way, I don't know what I think of this whole thing. I always thought Khashoggi was an activist, and that's how most journalists do. They're activists who masquerade as journalists, and then they get involved in stuff. And you shouldn't kill people, clearly, but let's not act like pure as the driven snow, just straight no chaser news. But they dismissed this. They said, oh, he's got immunity. The Biden administration granted the guy who Biden said he was going to make a pariah. He granted him immunity. And then legit the next day, Saudi Crown Prince brokered a deal to swap WNBA star Brittany Griner for merchant of death arms dealer. I'm sure that's a coincidence, right? Because Washington, D.C. is never on purpose. It's all coincidental, correct?